guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I don't normally do movie reviews, but I felt this one I should because it is a music-related movie, and the movie I just got back from seeing is Les Mis. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie. Do have to say, though, there were a few things I was a little worried about. First off, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people were worried about was Russell Crowe. I was not sure how he was going to do. I didn't even know if he could sing. I heard him singing on iTunes. I'm like, this is terrible. Because he has, like, a weird voice. I was hoping it wasn't going to be like The Phantom of the Opera, which is one of the worst adaptions of a musical and a movie that I've ever seen, because Gerard Butler's terrible in that movie, and I thought Russell Crowe was going to be just as bad as Gerard Butler, and that was the only thing I was worried about. But overall, I do have to say I really enjoyed Les Mis, and if you don't know the story of Les Mis, or as some people call it, Les Miserables, the basic story is that it follows Jean Valjean, who is played by Hugh Jackman. Jean Valjean was a prisoner, and Javert, who's played by Russell Crowe, releases him on parole. But Jean Valjean finds a way to basically, he finds a way to get rid of his parole, and he is turned into the mayor of the town after years, and he decides to, and for years Javert tries to hunt him down, and he's always chasing him. So then Jean basically, there's this child, Cosette, whose mother just died. I will get to that character later, but her mother has died, and she needs someone to take care of her because people that are taking care of her are not very nice people to her. They treat her like, it's kind of like a Cinderella thing, and he decides to take care of her. And this angers a lot of people. People wondering, should this man be taking care of this child who, you know, this is just a man, he hasn't had any experiences, and in the meantime there's a whole French Revolution going on, and that is more in the second half of the movie. But let's get into what I really liked about the movie. The first half of the movie, when we saw Jean Valjean as a prisoner, I didn't really love that part. I'm not saying it was a bad part. It just felt a little weird to me because you're going to see Hugh Jackman with a beard. You're going to see him almost bald. And it's not going to look like Hugh Jackman. But I get what that was. That's basically supposed to be him in prison, and that they worked them, and I didn't really like that aspect of the movie, but I liked the other parts of the movie. But from then on to the rest of the movie, I loved it. Now I want to get into the performances. Hugh Jackman, I thought, was perfectly cast as Jean Valjean because he is a good singer. He is a Broadway singer. He's been on Broadway. He was in The Boy Next Door. He has a really great voice. He was perfect for this. He was absolutely perfect. Every time he sang, you just loved it. Russell Crowe, I didn't think he did that bad. A lot of people are criticizing him. What's the big deal? I mean, yes, he's not the best singer in the world. It's not like, oh my God, Russell Crowe. I feel that I got the soundtrack, and those were the parts I kept listening to because I'm trying to figure out, hey, this guy is not that bad. Why don't people like him? When he sings Stars, and he was amazing. But that was just amazing. Then Anne Hathaway is Fantine. This is a supporting role. She's not in the movie as much as they show on TV. They make her seem like she's the female lead. She's not the female lead. She is the mother to Cosette, and she basically has to, well, if I tell you the whole story, I'm ruining her character, but I'm just going to say she has to basically, she gets fired from her job because people find out that she is basically paying for her daughter when her daughter is living with other people, and she then is fired from her job, and she has to live as a prostitute, and she basically just dies that way. But she is fantastic. When she sings I Dreamed a Dream, you get chills. I was expecting a lot of people in the theater to clap, but it looked like some people were going to. There were parts in this movie where I wanted to clap, but I couldn't because nobody else in the theater clapped. But that was an amazing performance. Then you have the two Cosettes. First you have Isabella Allen as young Cosette, who I thought was great. I really liked Isabel Allen. I thought she was really good. When she sang Castle on a Cloud, I really liked it, especially the part where she's talking about she wants someone to hold her and say that they love her very much. I really thought Isabel Allen was great. But Amanda Seyfried was fantastic. She was fantastic. I didn't know she could sing as high as she could. A lot of people are talking about shakiness in her voice. What are you talking about? I didn't hear any vibrato. I heard soprano, but I didn't hear vibrato. By the way, that's what that is called. This shakiness, it's called vibrato. But she has a very big soprano voice, and I thought she was great, perfectly cast as Cosette. She was great. Another person I want to talk about is Eddie Redmayne as Marius. He was great. Some people have said he has a little bit of like a frog voice. I don't know what that is about because I thought he was good. But who I really want to talk about is Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter as these two basically con artists who the whole movie they have one goal, and that one goal is money. They were absolutely hilarious. Every time they were on, for some reason I started laughing. Even when it wasn't supposed to be funny, I was laughing. Sacha Baron Cohen is great in this role, and so is Helena Bonham Carter. I am going to say, though, I felt like Sacha Baron Cohen, I don't know, I didn't think he had the greatest singing voice. A lot of people haven't said that, but I didn't think he had the greatest singing voice. He was okay, but I thought he was great, though. They are the people that treat Cosette like Cinderella, but they're so funny because all they want is money. There's a part where Jean Valjean comes into their house basically saying, "Can I take your daughter?" And they basically pretend that they love her so much, and all they want is money, and he gives them the money, and they're so happy. And at the end of the movie, you see them, and they want their money. They are just absolutely hilarious. They were perfect comic relief. And I only have to talk about two more people because I thought these two were really great. Samantha Barks is Ebony. This is another supporting role, but it is a fantastic role because this girl is amazing. She sings On My Own, and it was amazing when she sang On My Own. A lot of the scenes have to do with rain. Like a lot of the scenes she was in, it was raining. Especially, I'm going to tell you right now, she dies. And she sings a song all about rain, and I'm kind of like, well, you're basically telling the whole story of what we've seen of your characters, because a lot of her scenes take place in the rain. It makes it sound humorous, but it's not as humorous as I'm saying. The other character I loved was Angelorus, played by Aaron Tveit. Oh my god, Aaron Tveit's amazing. He is on Broadway. He's in Catch Me If You Can. He did Next to Normal. He hit the nail on the head with this. He was great. He is basically the leader of, I don't know what they were called. I think they were called the Schoolboys. That's what they were referenced as, the Schoolboys. And they are fighting in the French Revolution. And this is done more in the second half of the movie. The first half of the movie is very quiet, I'm going to say. It's very much like fun, and there's a lot going on. The second half of the movie, it gets very violent. I'm going to say that right now. Be prepared. It gets really loud in the second half of the movie. And it overall was a great movie. I encourage you all to see it. This movie definitely gets a 10 out of 10, and I'm going to do my top 10 movies of the year this might be my number one because I loved it that much. It was so good. You have to see this movie by the end of the year. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it already. Even if you don't see it this year, see it in January or February, or get the DVD. It is such a great movie. I loved the movie Rent. This was as good as Rent. Don't expect, though, a lot of talking. Okay, if you're some of those people who are going to be like, uh-oh, why are they singing? Why are they singing? Just know this is a musical. In a musical, they're supposed to sing. And there's a lot of singing, and there's not a lot of talking. So just know that. Overall, I loved this movie, though. It is a great movie. You must watch it. 10 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed my review of Les Miserables, and I'll see you next time. Bye!